You are the Queen of Scots. You spent 19 years in a dark English prison. And today, you are walking to the executioner's block in a secret crimson dress. This is your life. You are Mary Stuart, born in Linlithgow Palace in 1542. You become queen when you are just 6 days old, after your father King James dies. Your mother sends you to the royal court of France, far from English armies. You grow up in luxury, educated alongside the French royal children. You are tall, beautiful, graceful, speaking 5 languages and playing the lute. You believe your life will be a fairy tale, unaware that the crown is made of thorns. At 15, you marry Francis, the Dauphin of France. When his father dies, you become Queen Consort of France while remaining Queen of Scots. You wear 2 of the grandest crowns in Europe before your 18th birthday. You are worshipped in Paris, writing love letters and hosting grand banquets. But your triumph is short-lived. Francis dies of an ear infection within 2 years. You are heartbroken and suddenly powerless in the French court. Catherine de' Medici makes it clear that you are no longer welcome. You look across the stormy channel, deciding to return home to claim your throne. You land at Leith in August 1561, returning to a country you barely remember. Scotland is torn apart by religious war, dominated by Protestant nobles. They look at you, a devout Catholic queen, with suspicion and hostility. The preacher John Knox denounces you, calling your faith idolatry. But you act with remarkable patience, allowing freedom of worship to unite your kingdom. You establish your court at Holyrood Palace, bringing music and French elegance. But the Scottish lords do not want a strong monarch. They want a puppet. You realize that to secure your throne, you must find a husband to produce an heir. You fall in love with your cousin, Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley. He is handsome, tall, and carries royal English blood. You marry him in a lavish ceremony, ignoring the warnings of your advisors. But Darnley is a disaster, arrogant, vain, and addicted to alcohol. He demands the crown matrimonial, wanting to rule with absolute power. When you refuse, he turns bitter and consumed by wild jealousy. He suspects your Italian secretary David Rizzio, conspiring with Protestant lords. They plan a dark night of violence that will haunt you forever. March 1566. You are 6 months pregnant with the heir to the throne. You are sitting at a supper table in your private chamber with Rizzio. Suddenly, Darnley and armed lords burst into the room. They drag Rizzio away from your skirts, stabbing him 56 times. The wooden floor is soaked in blood, and Darnley holds you prisoner. You realize your husband tried to cause a miscarriage to kill your child. You use your charm to convince Darnley to escape with you at midnight. You ride horseback through the darkness, saving your unborn child. 3 months later, you give birth to a son, Prince James. You cannot forgive Darnley for the murder of Rizzio. In February 1567, Darnley is recovering at a house in Kirk O'Field. In the middle of the night, a massive explosion destroys the house. But you had no idea what was coming next. Darnley's body is found in the garden, strangled, not killed by the blast. Suspicions fall upon the Earl of Bothwell, a powerful Scottish lord. Rumors spread, accusing you of conspiring to murder your husband. The Protestant lords seize the scandal, turning the public against you. Your reputation is ruined, surrounded by enemies who want your crown. 3 months later, Bothwell abducts you with 800 men. He takes you to Dunbar Castle, where you agree to marry him. The marriage is a catastrophic mistake, sparking an outrage. At Carberry Hill, rebel lords surround your forces. To prevent a battle, you surrender if Bothwell is allowed to escape. The lords break their promise, parading you through Edinburgh with insults. You are locked in the remote island fortress of Loch Leven. You are forced to sign an abdication, surrendering the crown to your infant son. With the help of George Douglas, you escape Loch Leven in a boat. You raise an army of 6,000 Scots, fighting at the Battle of Langside. Your army is crushed, facing capture and imprisonment. You ride south toward the English border, seeking help from Elizabeth I. You write her a letter asking for protection and an army. But Elizabeth sees you as a mortal threat to her throne. Catholics across Europe view you as the rightful Queen of England. Instead of welcoming you, Elizabeth places you under house arrest. For 19 long years, you are moved from one cold English castle to another. You are isolated from your son James, who is taught to hate his mother. You spend your days embroidering, watching your health deteriorate. You remain the center of Catholic resistance, as rebels plot to rescue you. Sir Francis Walsingham, Elizabeth's master spy, monitors your every word. You live in a golden cage, while the English state policy tightens around you. In 1586, Walsingham sets a deadly trap using the Babington plot. Anthony Babington writes to you in code, proposing to assassinate Elizabeth. Walsingham intercepts the letters, waiting for your written approval. You write back, approving the plan to secure your freedom. Walsingham strikes, executing the plotters and putting you on trial. You defend yourself with eloquence, arguing an anointed queen cannot be tried. Elizabeth hesitates, but finally signs the death warrant. February 8, 1587, you walk into the great hall of Fotheringhay Castle. You step onto the scaffold draped in black velvet. You remove your dark gown, revealing a dress of brilliant crimson red. The crowd gasps at your final act of defiance. You kneel at the block, praying for your son and forgiving your executioners. The executioner takes 3 blows to sever your head. When he lifts your head, your true age is revealed. Your loyal lapdog creeps out from under your skirts, refusing to leave. You lost your kingdom, but your son James will unite Britain. You escaped the English cage, and now you are history.